Welcome to Bariatric Business Accelerator, the podcast created for busy weight loss practitioners and their teams who want to systematize, simplify, and accelerate the growth of their new or established weight loss practice. I'm your host, Carol Clark, and today I was looking at the webinar that we're actually offering to our patients this week, as well as our weekly e-newsletter that we send out to all of our patients. And the topic was a friend or foe, and it was really identifying the saboteurs in their life that might be preventing them from losing weight. And I know you talk about this a lot with your patients as well, but it applies to business at the same time. So I wanted to talk a little bit about friend or foe and some saboteurs that may be stagnating or preventing the growth of your weight loss practice. And as with anything, one of our biggest saboteurs can be ourselves, and that can be for a number of reasons. So if that is the case, you may be holding your practice back, maybe not, but we'd like to identify this just in case this is a problem, because your vision for your practice is an important thing that drives all of the activities that happen within your practice, as well as your decisions. So if you don't have a strong vision, or you don't have a focus on what it is that you are trying to attain, it's going to be harder to get there. You need to have that target so that everyone knows what they're working towards. So that's an important thing. The other thing that can hold us back, anyone in life or in our personal or our business life, is fear of failure. Fear of failure is real. And I know I get to work with some really I think every person in membership or that I'm working with one-on-one, I don't think I know, they are stellar individuals as a person as well as a practitioner or surgeon. I just love their drive. I love their energy. I love their determination to make things happen. But inside, we each have a certain amount of fear of failure, or sometimes a fear of success, because it's going to change things in our life. So we need to acknowledge that and make sure that we are addressing it if it's coming up. So that's one of the things we sometimes identify and discuss. And I love the vulnerability that they are willing to have, just like myself when I'm working with my business coach. We all as humans have this innate potential fear of failure, fear of success. So that can be holding you back. The other thing that can happen for an entrepreneur that we hold ourselves back is we might have flight of ideas. So we're always looking for the next best thing, the next way to market, the next way to access our patients, the next treatment. We're always looking, which is a good thing because it keeps us from becoming stagnant, but it can also create flight of ideas and lack of follow through because there's so many things happening at the same time. So that can be a potential, or you may be the person that everything has to go through and there's no sense of a good leadership team or organizational chart that can help take some of the minute decisions off your plate. And so sometimes as the owner or as the person who's leading the organization, we can become the bottleneck. So those I know are a lot that relates to you as your own saboteur, but they're real. And so I wanted to bring those to light. You can also have saboteurs in the second aspect of your team. And what I mean by that is your team generally is very supportive of you and your vision. If they understand what that is, they want to do a good job. But sometimes we can have behaviors on your team that can sabotage your ultimate growth. It might be team members who are afraid of change. It might be some that are holding on to information. So they're the only ones who know all the ins and outs of the insurance companies and getting things authorized. Or they may be the person who wants to have the last say in so many things, and they've kind of like held on to and won't share the pearls of information or things that they've gained. So in order of sharing that with their colleagues. And so you can get some silos in your practice, and then it interrupts the communication between the front end, the back end, so the front desk, the clinical, the financial. It can have these barriers, and it really can prevent progress because one team may have an idea and be on board with an idea that you have, but the other one is viewing it as a threat or something that they don't want to participate in. So making sure that you have open communication is so important, and making sure that your team members aren't holding on to things. They also might not understand some of your treatment modalities, and they may not communicate that properly to patients who are inquiring about your services. So that's another thing that's really important. So it could be a lack of teamwork, a silo mentality, meaning that I'm working and this is my job, this is all I do, this is what I focus on. Nobody else can have a piece of that, nobody else can get involved in it, and we don't communicate amongst each other. They can create different fear-based behaviors because they may feel threatened in some way from someone wanting to take their job or getting in trouble for something. Fear is not a good motivator for progress, so we want to make sure we understand that. They also may be, like I say, resistant to change, and so they just want things status quo. And they need to get excited about the vision that you have. That will help propel them forward. Or they may also not feel challenged enough. And this shows itself by the fact that they're not coming up with new ideas, they're not taking ownership for projects, and so we need to allow that with our team members. So actually it could be you, it could be your team. Another aspect that can hold or sabotage the growth or the advancement of your practice is sort of a short-term focus. Sometimes we are just looking to get through today. Let's get through today, and then we'll deal with all that tomorrow. We'll deal with strategy tomorrow. We'll deal with where we're going and what our vision is and who we want on our team, who shouldn't be on our team. We'll hold all that off because I just need to get through today. And I get that. There are days like that for sure. But when you have this short-term mentality that just continues to drive everything you do in your practice, you never really get that long-term advancement or long-term growth. So that's the third one. The fourth one is lack of adaptability. We have to be open to the trends that are happening out there. That doesn't mean that you need to adhere to something that you don't believe in or you don't think is a good idea for your patients, but we have to be adaptable. So we all saw this through the pandemic. We've seen it in many different ways, but we've got to be adaptable to what our patients want and also what we know is best for them and come to a balance between that. So we have to be adaptable and willing to change. That's the third thing that can sabotage. So we've gone through you, your team, the short-term focus, third one, and then lack of adaptability was the fourth one. The fifth one is lack of accountability. And this is something where people come in, they may just do their job. They're not really looking at how they're contributing to the growth of your practice, how they're contributing to the bottom line of your practice. And so lack of accountability can be corrected very easily, pretty much by having a clear organizational chart for lines of communication, making sure that there is this open communication as well, and having key performance indicators for every single position on your team and letting them know how they are an important aspect of the growth of your practice and the adaptability of your practice and getting new ideas and that they matter. So we do want to make sure that we have some accountability with metrics to go along with that and clear lines of communication. Like I say, your organizational chart can help clarify that. Your vision's right on there, and then we take that and we bring it right down into all the different operating procedures for your practice, the vision, all those sorts of things kind of start to mesh together, and you can see progress happening in a very rapid way. So those are the top things. So what did I talk about? Our main saboteurs might be yourself, it might be your team, a short-term focus and lack of adaptability could be another one, and then a lack of accountability with clear metric measurements. Those are some of the top things that I see, the top 5 things that I see holding a practice back from ultimate growth. And I know it's a lot, but we take them one step at a time. And the first part is just to acknowledge that this may be going on in your practice, and then being willing to take some steps to modify it and get those juices flowing again and get some excitement in there. And for a lot of people, summer can be a great time to do some of this. It's a time for all of us to have, you can have a fresh beginning every single day. We want to make sure that you can just make changes, and we want to make sure those are lasting changes. So it's a matter of deciding and then acting and then committing to that and measuring it and modifying things along the way. So it sounds simple. I know it's not. I'm in this life with you every single day. I'm the biggest cheerleader for those people that I work with. I love brainstorming solutions to problems, not just talking about the problems, but really what are we going to do about it? So I hope this has been helpful, these 5 potential saboteur behaviors that could be going on in your practice, holding back your growth. And if I can help in any other way, please reach out to me. There's lots of free resources at weightlosspracticebuilder.com/free. I would love to have a chat with you. And if you're a part of my membership or someone I'm working with already, I can't wait till our next meeting together. So in the meantime, I hope you have a great day and take care.